maybe seated. Whew. How's everybody feeling today? That's good. That's good. I like it. Well, welcome and good afternoon. On behalf of the class of 2017, I, Eric Covarrubias, Student Council and also Student Class President, would like to welcome the students, administration, teachers, Hall County board members, retirees, our superintendent, Mr. Will Schofield, how you doing? And other invited guests today. Thank you for being here. I too would like to personally thank the students, and the administration for allowing me to speak here before you today. To the administration and staff, thank you for pushing us to our very limit this school year to make us the very best students we could this school year, obviously, like I just said. Without you, we wouldn't be able to come as far as we have, and without you, you wouldn't give us the education that we would need to prosper in life. To the students, thank you for being there for me every single day, and I just love to see your beautiful faces every day, and I really will miss seeing your face every day, because, I mean, that's all I know is school and work and band, and just thank you for being there. To my friends, you know who you are. You're all my bros, even if you're a girl. Yes, I did just bro zone you. I would like to thank you for being by my side every single breath I've had in high school, or some of you middle school, and even less of you elementary. Without you, I wouldn't be able to be the guy I am today, and for that I thank you for shaping me to be a better guy, man. To my family, wherever you are, mom, dad, wherever you are. I got it. Hi, how are you? You somehow managed to push me even harder than my friends and Mr. Cooper, Mrs. Tharp, Mr. Cantrell, everybody, you know who you are, I'm not going to mention all of them. You somehow pushed me further than what I thought I could possibly do. And without you here, I wouldn't be here. And as a few of you might have heard my speech, the service on Tuesday, I did reference an empty tank. And that empty tank, I feel we all have felt within our lives, where you just can't go anymore. And you need something or someone to keep you going. And for me, that was my family. When I told them, Mom, Dad, I don't know if I'm gonna get my grade up in this class. I don't know if I'm gonna be strong enough to do marching band. I don't know if I can go to the ceremony. They told me, I believe in you, and we love you. And without them, man, this is great. And I thank God for blessing me with such a great family, because we all deserve a great family in our lives to keep us going, and that's exactly what they did. And to those who made it today, even if I don't know you or not, you know, obviously you didn't come here to hear me speak, but you came here to see a relative or a friend graduate. But just know I appreciate you being here today. Thank you. There is one last person I'd like to mention and thank, and you know, luckily she's up here on stage with me today and all of us, and she's one of my best friends that just also happens to be my girlfriend, Brenda Galvez. And you know, without you, I wouldn't have been able to make it for the past 7 years of, you know, 3 years of middle school, 4 years of high school, We met in sixth grade, and ever since then, it's still going. And I don't know what the future holds, but whatever happens, it'll never change the fact that she's been there with me and through the hard times, and she just helps me and helped me grow. And I wouldn't have asked for a better person to grow with for the past 7 years. And these may be the last words you'll ever hear me speak, for we all go our different paths in life. Some of us will go on to college. Some of us will go enlist in the military. Some of us will go into the workforce, and hopefully a few of us will become couch potatoes, even though I don't recommend it. Hopefully you do something with your life. But just know, whatever you decide to do in life, you do it to the best of your ability. You don't hold back. If you want to be a gardener, you be the best gardener to ever walk this earth. If you want to be a garbage man picking up trash, you pick up that trash and clean our world. I know you all will do great things, and I ask of you to please, on behalf of East Hall, put our footprint on this earth. And when people ask you, you told them you came from Little East Hall in Gainesville, Georgia, and people are going to, I don't know who you are. Well, I know you know who I am now, because you're going to go out and do great things. And just don't get discouraged if people move faster than you in life. People will get where they need to be at their own pace. You might be, I don't know, you might graduate in college in like 10 years, and it was a 4-year course. Who cares? You went out and you did it. As long as you tried your best, that's all that matters. As for me, I have decided to dedicate my life to serve and protect this country in the United States Army. And I guarantee you, I will do that to the best of my ability so you all can stay safe here at home. Thank you for being here. Before I finish here, I would like to ask everyone to please stand for the presentation of colors and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and National Anthem. Thank you, and enjoy the ceremony.
Will the audience please accompany me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could you still remain standing for the national anthem?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
may be seated. Tonight I'd like to ask you to join me in welcoming our special guests who are sitting on the stage behind me. And if you would please stand as I call your name. Mr. Will Schofield, Superintendent of Hall County Schools. Mr. Nate Morris, Chairman of the Hall County Board of Education. Mr. Craig Harrington, Vice Chairman, Hall County Board of Education. Members, Mr. Sam Chapman, Mr. Brian Sloan, Mr. Bill Thompson. Thank you for joining us this evening. We also have some very special people sitting on the stage with us tonight, and those are our retirees. We will really miss these people in the hallways of East Hall High School. Miss Judy Allison, who has been teaching for 25 years, and 19 of those years have been at East Hall. Miss Allison? Mr. Brian Moss, 20 years in education, and 9 of those years at East Hall High School. And Miss Denise Clark, who is the person that answers the phone and greets you when you walk into the office. We're really going to miss that sweet smile. 24 years at East Hall High School. Congratulations.
Good afternoon. I'd like to take the time to just welcome everyone here. I know we've had our greeting, but thank you, families, friends, for being here supporting our graduates today, as this is a very festive occasion, I guess you would say. It's a great day for the graduates and the families of these students of East Hall High School. Graduates, as you leave East Hall behind today, I want you to take pride in all that you've accomplished as part of the Viking family. 215 of you will walk across the stage today, making you the largest graduating class ever. As a collective group, you've been awarded over $1 million in scholarship money. Over 50% of you are moving to higher education next year. You are accepted at colleges and universities all over the country, including Eastern Connecticut State University, Johnson & Wales University in Rhode Island, La Sierra University in California, SCAD, and the University of Northwestern of Ohio, to name a few. At least 10 of you have made the brave choice to serve our country in the armed forces. Thank you from all of us. During your high school career, approximately 40% of you have took at least one or more AP courses, and 36 of you have participated in the Move On When Ready program, taking courses at UNG and Lanier Tech. Your class has checked out over 16,000 books over the course of your 4 years. Seniors participating in work-based learning have worked over 40,000 hours and earned over $252,000 through their supervised job experiences. 18 of you, work-based learning students, earned Distinguished Georgia Best Elite certification. Additionally, 3 of you earned your Clinical Medical Assistant certifications while in our healthcare science program. This certification is usually obtained through a technical school. Seniors in our automotive program have competed in back-to-back national championships. Our drama graduates have performed 18 musicals and plays in their 4 years. FFA seniors have accumulated 73 various FFA degrees. Graduates participating in the choral program have traveled to sing in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, and as far away as New York City. There were also featured performers at the Georgia Governor's Mansion. The class of 2017 band members have made 96 public appearances and earned multiple awards and championships. These band seniors have marched in the Walt Disney World Festival of Fantasy Parade and have been honored to perform at many other distinguished events. 2 graduates were members of the Georgia District 14 Honor Band, and 2 others were members of the Honor Band, as well as Georgia All-State Band. 3 seniors will be members of the UGA Redcoat Marching Band next year. Our softball seniors helped the team make their first ever state Sweet 16 appearance this year, also to win our first softball region championship. Our competition cheerleaders advanced to the state finals for the first time in school history. Football seniors, in your 4 years, the football team advanced to 2 state playoffs back-to-back years for the first time since the early 1990s. In 4 years, our boys basketball program, our seniors, have won 86 games, advanced to 3 Sweet 16s, 1 Elite 8, and captured 3 region championships in a row. The Lady Vikings basketball team has been region runner-up twice in the past 4 years, as well as winning the Carolina Invitational Tournament. The girls volleyball team has advanced to the state playoffs 3 times, with 1 Elite 8 appearance, 1 Sweet 16 appearance, and they also won back-to-back region/area championships in 2014 and 2015. The cross-country team qualified for the state for the first time in school history in the fall, and our track team saw 6 student athletes qualify for the state this year. Our wrestling program, led by 4 seniors, trophied in 16 tournaments, including in the last 4 years, including 2 trophies from the Hall County Championships. The girls soccer team made the state tournament for the first time in school history in 2015. Our boys soccer program, seniors advanced to the state playoffs in all 4 years, made 2 state Final Four appearances, and finished second in state in 2016. Did you also know that I and about 20 others of your faculty and staff members call East Hall our alma mater? To me, that means East Hall High School is a place that people want to come back to. It's a place with rich, deep community. We hope that as you transition from being students to being alumni, today you will know that you're always welcome at Valhalla. You'll just need a visitor's pass instead of an ID badge. For the past 4 years, your job has been to learn as much as possible. You've learned a lot of facts, but you've also learned about friendship, you've learned about fun, and you've learned about failure even at times. Now's your chance to take all of your lessons you've learned and put them into practice. But before you go, I have one more fact for you to remember. In the 10th century, there's a man that saw a group of Vikings when he was traveling in Russia. He wrote that each of them carried an axe, a sword, and a knife, and that these men never parted from their weapons. Vikings, as you set off on this journey into adulthood, take these weapons with you: an axe of knowledge, a sword of truth, and a knife of wisdom. If you never parted from these 3 things, you'll go far in life. When you step out those doors today, you're taking the first step into your future, whether that path leads you to higher education, serving our country, joining the workforce, or starting a family. Do it with the pride of a Viking. Make wise choices. Be bold, but be kind. Each of you will change the world in some way. Change it for the better. And know that wherever you go, your family, your teachers, and your community are cheering you on. Be proud to be a Viking, because we're proud of you. Thank you and congratulations to the class of 2017.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maria Elias. I want to start I want to start by thanking my family, mami, papi, mi hermano Jesús. Los quiero mucho y aprecio tanto el apoyo que me han dado y yo no puedo estar aquí sin ustedes. I also want to thank my closest friends, which are too many to name individually, but for supporting me and having me help them with their homework, which in turn helped me learn more and get to where I am today. Fellow graduates, I am beyond pleased to say that we have finally made it. It's crazy to think that we all met each other at the ages of 10 and 11. We were small, chubby little sixth graders, so excited to finally have lockers, only to find out how hectic it was to open them during class change. We had to wear some ugly uniforms, which thankfully were removed the following year. 7th grade was when we were used to middle school and had a year before even thinking about high school. Then we were 8th graders, and we're finally at the top. We experienced our last field day and last Connections Rewards Day, which got pretty wild with our dancing. It's insane how different our lives are 4 years later. Freshman year, we had our core classes in the academy, or as it should really be called, the dungeon. Some of us got to escape that with AP World History with Coach Clark. Most of us would be slumped in that class and would sleep every day. I swear to you, I was like this, trying to hide the fact that I was sleeping. It was also the year we were finally done with health and gym. Coach Wheeler taught his first gym class at East Hall that year and would let me and Emma skip laps around the gym. Then during sophomore year, we were finally admitted to Epic, which was great because now we could sleep on couches. It was the year we all experienced Mr. Hardison's class. He always pushed us to present in front of class and embarrass ourselves doing some kind of rap or acting. When junior year came around, we finally got to meet the beloved Mr. Moss. He had everyone stressing with artifact presentations and readings, but somehow he still managed to capture our hearts. I'll always be grateful to have had AP Government with Mr. Madamba that year, and to have made it on his AP wall. That same year, a lot of us got to take a trip to New York, which was so beautiful and exciting, but the one downside of the trip was the painful 20-hour drive there. Sadly, during our junior year, we had to say goodbye to Miss E. Some of us were fortunate enough to experience her loving personality both sophomore and junior year. I'll never forget the rocket project we had in her class where me and Zyra paired up and had the rocket that shot up the highest. Junior year was the year everyone finally started caring for their GPA since senior year was slowly creeping in. And we attempted the SAT, which was new, and most of us had no idea how to study for it. Finally, we got to senior year. Everyone started saying, "Who cares?" "Yee yee boy," and "yeah." I honestly hate all of those sayings, but it is what we will remember from our senior year. We all finally got to sit on the senior patio, but every time me, Carla, and Valerie would try to sit out there, I swear those wasps would try to get to our food, and it even happened during the colder weather. This year we had about an inch of snowfall, and somehow the White Boy Squad managed to build a 6-foot snowman in front of the school with a sign saying, "Class of 2017. In AP Spanish, we had our fair share of pranks on Miss Bonilla as well, which included sleeping on the floor and flipping our desks. This year, we endured Miss Greer's conic graphing project, which had us stressed before prom when we were already stressed about tuxes and dresses. And at our last prom, we all had to watch out for Mr. Morgan for separating people from dancing a bit too close. Then we immediately had our final AP exams and finals, and before we knew it, it was our last day of high school. We survived 13 years of school, and many of us will keep going through more. I highly want to stress that if you're pursuing a career after high school, that it be something you love. Jobs like becoming a lawyer or a doctor seem like safe careers, but if you really want to be a professional scuba diver, a ringleader at a circus, or a fortune cookie writer, then by all means pursue that. Everything is possible as long as you put in the hard work. As Jim Carrey once said, you can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. During my high school career, especially my senior year, I've learned to not care. It's something I wish I'd started earlier. When I say I don't care, I mean it towards the people I find unimportant in my life. I truly find it important to focus on yourself and to take care of yourself. It is such a waste of time and energy to be worried about what others think. And as Jorge reminded me the other day, a lion doesn't concern itself with the opinion of sheep. There will always be someone saying something negative about your successes. You do you. It's that simple. Class of 2017. If you take a thing or two from this speech, I hope that you remember to pursue a life that only others dream about and to focus on yourself. We all have many opportunities to achieve something great in this country, opportunities that others can only imagine. We need to grasp it now that we are finally out of high school. And that's crazy to say. We are finally out of high school. Class of 2017, we made it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zaira Azaret Hernandez. And before I start my formal speech, I just want to say, wow. You know, not only are we graduating, but we are in fact the largest graduating class that East Hall has ever seen. And I say that all 215 of us give the audience a cheer. And although I don't know a portion of you, and have never spoken to a couple of you, I just want to say congratulations. Now, I have never considered myself quite smart, just overachieving and a hard worker. I have never been the smartest cookie in the jar, as well as not being the smartest in the classroom. I would like to congratulate the following individuals, though, because if it weren't for their good grades, I wouldn't have had a competitive drive to do better and prove myself in their presence. Maria Elias, Brenda Galvez, Jorge Rocha, Oscar Gonzalez, Carlos Castrodon, Guima Gomez, Kaylee Lee, and Orlando Vargas. And now for my formal speech. I titled it, Me and My Boyfriend. In this speech, I want to talk about the boyfriend that I have loved and cherished for the past 4 years, as well as memories made down the road, also give out thanks, and depart with a little wisdom for the future. I met my boyfriend the beginning of freshman year. And freshman year is when I fell in love. I had finally left the awful experience the middle school had been for me, except Mr. Waters. He was pretty awesome. As I arrived on the first day of class, I saw him, and a shiver went down my back. I knew that he would be mine. I walked up to him with an open mind and high aspirations, knowing that I would soon learn to cherish his flaws and defects. Freshman year, he introduced me to amazing teachers like Mr. Anthony and Coach Wheeler. Along with performing the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, the Harlem Shake, and seeing Coach Dick shake it like there was no tomorrow at the pepper rally. My amazing boyfriend had also introduced me to even more friends and saw me as I made my journey through clubs and soccer. From there, we grew a little more, achieved even worse acne, and were thrown into our sophomore year. This year around, the love I had for my boyfriend grew even more, and the fond memories I had with him began to expand. Sophomore year, he introduced me to yet another set of amazing teachers. To name a few, Mr. Hardison, let's give this inspirational and amazing man a hand. Mr. Valley, Ms. Bonilla, Miss E, yet another amazing teacher, and Miss Kirkham. He was there when Alex from Target became a meme, and when we couldn't get enough of, I came in like a wrecking ball. And does everyone remember seeing that black, blue, gold, white dress? And with that year, we got wiser, a little smarter, and more restless. And then this leads to our junior year. Junior year, my boyfriend encouraged me and was a major supporter of all the sports, events, and clubs. I was particularly invested in volleyball and soccer, besides multiple clubs. And while I'm on the topic of soccer, I want us to give an applause to the soccer senior boys that accomplished to get to the finals last year and the Final Four this year. I know for a fact that my boyfriend had been immensely devastated, but he will remain a Viking. But yet again, my amazing boyfriend showed me to even more amazing teachers, such as Mr. Moss. I was truly blessed to have had him. Mr. Madamba, I will always be thankful to him for always helping me out. And Mr. Walton. Junior year again entertained us with endless memes and countless of priceless music. I remember when on the low, people wanted to watch 50 Shades of Grey. I'm sorry, parents. And when Bruno Mars had us all wanting to Uptown Funk. And with a splash at the beach and a deserving tan, we finally got to our final year of high school. Senior year was a blur for me. While my boyfriend spent the fun portion of senior year voting for homecoming court, prom court, senior superlatives, and getting to experience all that senior year had to give him, I spent it at UNG. Although these accommodations didn't allow for much memories between me and him, we still managed to keep up and continue our love for each other. We spent the night of homecoming together and boogied at prom. I loved him and cherished him through all of the ups and downs, but sadly, it was never meant to last. This day, he dies in my heart. And although I have had 4 great years of pure love and respect for him, I must let him go for good. His name is East Hall High School. I think my parents can stop being confused now. In my 4 years of being at East Hall, I have been in FCA, FFA, Key Club, NHS, volleyball, and have been president of Beta Club, president of Art Club, VP of Communications for Hope, and a captain of the varsity soccer girls. Because of my involvement in school, I have been able to meet amazing individuals and kind souls. I have been able to witness the beautiful bloom of so many classmates, and because of this, I will always love and cherish East Hall. I will also always be extremely thankful to all the amazing teachers that have pushed and inspired their students to always strive for knowledge and greatness. I want to also thank my family and especially my parents for their hard work and dedication to their children. If it weren't for their faith in me from the start, I don't believe I would have had faith in myself to begin with. Los amo mucho, aunque a veces no lo demuestre. I want to thank my friends for seeing me through, especially Yolanda Vargas for being my best friend. And personally, I want to thank God because He has helped me during exams, studying, and nights when I was completely drained and just wanted to quit. But lastly, I want to thank all the seniors for accomplishing the first major milestone of their lives. You made it. And in reference to what Brenda said at the service on Tuesday night, I had 5 goals at the end of my 8th grade year. 1, to graduate with honors, check. 2, to get as many scholarships as possible, still working on that. 3, try my best to have a high GPA. I think I've accomplished that. 4, to get accepted to Harvard, still one of my dreams. And lastly, 5, to live out my life and move on. And I intend to do just that. And as Naruto Uzumaki once said, if you don't like the hand that fate's dealt you with, fight for a new one. Congratulations.
we call each student's name, we would ask the audience to please hold your applause so that all names can be heard by family and friends that have come out today to celebrate with each one of our students. Would the first row please rise?
Zaira Azaret Hernández Hernández. María Elías. Brenda Galvez.
Tucker Bailey Hardison. Austin Hawk Mitchell. Kaylee Cheyenne Lee. Bailey Sloan Gerard.
Jorge Rocha González. Yesenia Argueta. Ivania Margarita Aparicio.
Savannah Lynn Grayson.
Eric José Covarrubias. Caroline Marie Abel. Paulina Adame.
Matthew Carson Adams.
Abigail Aguilera. Diego Alarcón Ayala. Jennifer Selena Aldaco. Jessie Aldaco. Jancy Carolina Almendares. Carlos Mauricio Alonso.
Shala Anderson.
Laura Andrade. Benjamín Arevalo.
Victor Daniel Arespe, Jr. Andrew N. Arrowwood.
Denise Arroyo.
Joshua Paul Autry. Joshua Banks.
Blanca Paulina Becerra. Lorena Benítez Chávez.
Savannah Hope Bills.
Karen Bonilla. Berenice Botello. Clarisa Maribel Bran.
Makai Brown. Rory Cherie Brown.
Zariah Jakaya Brown.
Jana Lene Bryant. Alexander Nicholas Fred Buffington. Isaac Nathaniel Buffington. Joseph Cade Buffington. Holt Buffington. Colby Brian Bird.
Abril Camacho.
Emily Campbell Brock. Lillian Canada. Elizabeth Taylor Cano.
Leonardo Capistran. Emily Nicole Carvajal.
Jessica Carden.
Stephanie Cardosa. Joana Carpio Garcia. Gabriela Carrillo. Lisette Anaí Carrillo. Marlene Selén Castillo. Juan Carlos Castrejón Morales.
Daisy Faye Chapa.
Selena Chavez Gómez.
Sierra Cheek. Mason Allen Clark. Charles Elsie Clayton.
Stephanie Jocelyn Contreras.
Brody Crocker. Joshua Wayne Croxley. Chase D. Dale.
Christopher Edgardo de León. Alexis Rodríguez Delgado. Julissa Díaz López.
Leticia Doe Emerald. Keelan Dowdy. Noah Dyer. Adam Frazier Edge.
Ana Karina Elizararas.
Dion A. Ellison.
Darinka Espinosa. Brittany Estudillo Ramírez.
Devin Allen Fisher.
Esmeralda Flores. Iván Flores Castrejón.
Kirsten Ansley Fry.
Arlette Galindo. Danelia García Orozco. Edgar García. Gemma Joana Gómez. Carla González. Oscar González.
Jessica Marie Graves. Dustin Richard Green. Gregory Esley Vernon Greer. Tyler Clark Grindle. Austin Grizzle.
Amanda Inés Gutiérrez. Saúl Gutiérrez.
Jordan Mackenzie Guyton. Chrissy Maylin Hamby. Daniel Haney. Michael Jacob Harkins. Keely Jane Harper. Hannah Leanne Harris. Christopher Austin Haynes.
Jesús Hernández. Luz Janet Hernández García.
Martin Alexander Hess. Christopher Charles Hicks. Christy Wynn Henshaw. Montavious DeAndre Howard.
Alberto Iván Huerta. Ángel Nayib Huizar.
Gabrielle Elizabeth Hussey. Marquise Jackson. Nikki Mae Chaton.
Valeria Jiménez.
Jeff Joshua Johnson II. Logan Avery Johnson. Megan Brooke Jones. Wayne Carson Knox. Natia Ray Lanyon. Luke Jackson Latimer. Dominique Lynn Lefwich.
Janine Itzel Lona. Eduardo López. Verónica Alejandra López. Jimena Luna. Kiara Giselle Madrigal. Kayla Cristal Magaña Huijón. Elminet Marie Maldonado. Antonio Nicolás Martínez. Daisy Beth Martinez. Sergio Mata. Irlanda Naomi Mejía. Jaylene Inés Meléndez. Lisbeth García Mendoza. Mireya Saraí Mesa.
Jeremiah Mize. Kyla Mize.
Ulises Mondragón.
John Tyler Moses. Michael Jacob Moses. Cameron Chase Moss.
Andy Murillo. Rocío Yvette Murillo. Juan Manuel Nieto. Guadalupe Ochoa Mujica.
William Chase O'Connor. Kimani Rashad Odom.
Nicole Pacheco.
Brittany Michelle Perkins. Gina Pham.
Hamilton Pineda. Brian Manuel Puga. Karen Giselle Quintanilla. Alison Nicole Ramírez. Rubén Ramírez Anaya. Yelena Jaimes Rebollar.
Jada Janice Reed.
Jesús Alberto Retana Arrieta.
Avery Lee Riley.
Galilea Ríos.
Taylor Nicole Brooke Roark. Marie L. Robinson.
Sheila Joana Rodríguez. Claudia Janet Rodríguez. Gabriel Rodríguez. Jaylene Rodríguez. Yulisa Rodríguez. Víctor Romero Gómez. Aarón Sánchez. Natalie Sánchez. José Manuel Santana.
Rory Dawson Scott. Jacob Lee Shedd. Taralara Shields. Marcus Russell Shockley. Joseph David Simmons. Samuel Skelton.
Joseph Marcel Smith.
Kara Smith. Caitlin Marie Smith. Kent Michael Smith. Alex Smith. Joshua Scott Souther. Madison Tate Stevens. Emmeline Grace Stewart. Shane Finley McVeigh Talley.
Gabriela Tello.
McQuillan Jaquan Thomas. Robert James Redmond Troy.
Jocelyn Raquelín Turcios. Natalie Valencia. Leslian Valentín. Eric Vargas. Irlanda Vargas. Alex Vázquez. Leonel Vázquez. Luis Vega Alvarado. Lisbeth Villa Ibarra. José Vital.
Dakota Walden. Matasia Porche Ware. Aaron Wales. Shalia Monique Williams. Brianna Marie Williamson. Carter Michael Wilson. Sydney Michelle Wilson. Michaela Hope Wilson. Shatasia Lachey Young.
Edgar Zamora Falcón. Leslie Zuniga.
Thank you. Congratulations, class of 2017.
Good afternoon. Come on now, E-Hall. Good afternoon. Faculty, administration, Board of Education, family members, friends, East Hall community. Would you agree with me that this East Hall Viking class of 2017 are absolutely, positively beautiful? Congratulations. You know, with any job, I don't care whether you're a doctor or a farmer or a plumber or a nurse or a secretary or a teacher. As some of your classmates said, if you work in the sanitation department, John Denver used to have a song. And his song was, "Some days are diamonds and some days are stones." As a superintendent of schools, let me tell you that the diamond every year in my 17 years of having an honor of serving as a superintendent has been graduations. This is what it's all about. The only day for me every school year that rivals graduation is the first day of school, but not with seniors, with kindergarten students. And could I share with you this afternoon that when I go to kindergarten classes on the first day of school, the looks that I see in those little faces look an awful lot like the looks that I see in your faces today. There's hope, a little bit of uncertainty. For some of you, perhaps even a little bit of fear. But there's also a steely determination in most of your faces that says, I knew I could do this. I knew that I would do this. Graduates, class of 2017, I've got some bad news for you and some good news for you and some bad news for you. The bad news is that until I do what's called conferring your diplomas, and that is ensuring your Board of Education that you've done everything that the state of Georgia and the Hall County Board of Education requires, they're really not official. But the good news is we're going to do that in just a few minutes. Now, the bad news is that I've never missed an opportunity as a superintendent of schools, now going on 90 times, I guess, to make you sit through one more short lesson before we let you go out into the big, wide world. You know, 15, 16 years ago, I'd always have an opportunity, and I'd want to give graduates some advice. But I came to the conclusion that there's an awful lot of advice given in this world, and most of it, particularly if it's not sought, it just isn't worth much. And so I moved away from giving advice, and instead I started to ask myself the question, what if instead of talking about advice, we talked about things that are true? And by things that are true, I mean things that never change. Things that were true 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, and they will be true 50 years from now. Because you see, when we talk about truth rather than advice, then it doesn't have anything to do with me. There are some people in this community that have watched me pretty closely, that have known some of the areas in which I have fallen short and failed. And a number of them might have been at graduation ceremonies in the past and said, well, that sounds awful good, but I know you. And I know that's not the way that you've always been. As a matter of fact, I know fairly recently you haven't done some of those things that you like to give advice about. Last day of school, we have a little thing that we do in our family. We're down to one that's still in school. She's going to be an 8th grader next year. But we always go to Dairy Queen after the last day of school. And my wife's not here today, so I'll tell you, I always get a Blizzard. And I don't get that short thing, and I don't get that medium thing, I get the big one. And so yesterday, after I had my Heath Bar Blizzard and we were riding home, my daughter said to me, and I don't know where this came from, but she said, Dad, you know what? She said, as I finished school this year, said, there's a lot of kids that I've spent time around this year that at the beginning of the year, people told me they were bad. They were bad kids. She said, you know, I got to hang around those kids, and I got to see a chunk of their heart, and I'd see them how they'd react in certain situations. And she said, every one of them that people told me were bad, there's a lot of good in those kids. She went on. Oh, from the mouths of a youngster sometimes comes truth. She said, Dad, there were also kids that for years everybody said, what a good kid that is. Just good kid. They do everything right. And she said, you know what? I had an opportunity to spend a little time around those good kids too. And guess what, Dad? They made some mistakes. They weren't all that good. And she said, I guess I've come to the conclusion that in each and every one of us is this capacity for good and this capacity for not so good, and we're all kind of a mix of that. I believe it was Will Rogers who said, you're going to have to kind of learn to give and take in this whole world. And one of the things I'd challenge you with, graduating class of 2017, is not to be too hard on people, because you'll have your moments also. So let's talk about some truth, and this is your last assignment before you officially graduate. And the assignment is going to be that I'm going to ask you to make 3 choices in the coming days and weeks. 3 choices that I am convinced after my 53 years on this planet are going to affect the way that you live the rest of your lives. The first choice that I would ask you to make, and it's one that I'm afraid that this culture that we live in and this world that we live in rarely even spends any time considering, but the first choice I'd ask you to make is to choose truth. Choose truth over a false life. You know, it was about 2,000 years ago, and a man named Pilate asked the famous question. He said, what is truth? Truth are those ideals. Truth are those beliefs that you hold deep in the pit of yourself that they just never change. Truth are those feelings that you get sometimes when you see the herd all going one way and you realize that's not the right way to go. It just doesn't feel right. It's not true. Do you know, I recently read, and I want you to listen to this, because it really made me think. The average American lies between 100 and 200 times a day. Most of us in this auditorium are sitting here and saying, well, that must be them, because I sure don't lie 100 or 200 times a day. But can I suggest to you, graduates, that there are all kinds of ways that we can lie. I can lie with my words. I can lie with my lack of words. I can lie with my facial expressions. I can lie by living my life in such a way that it really isn't lining up with what I've told myself and what I've told others that I'm all about. And may I suggest to you, class of 2017, there's nothing wrong with money or nice cars or good jobs. But if you want to lay your heads on your pillows at night and get a deep and a full night's sleep, if you want to wake up in the morning with a sparkle in your eyes and a spring in your step, knowing that whatever you face today is going to be okay, choose a life of truth over a life of falsehood. That's my first challenge I'd give to you in terms of choices that you're going to make. Second choice I'd ask you to make, because believe it or not, you think you're making this choice, but I'm going to suggest to you that many of you may not be. As a matter of fact, I'll just be real honest, I didn't really make this choice. I let others make it for me. Can I suggest that the creator of this universe gave each and every one of you incredible gifts? For some of you, it may be a musical gift, as we've heard tonight. For others, maybe it's a gift of building things. Construction, you just see it. You throw a bunch of parts down and you know exactly how they ought to go together to make something. For others, perhaps it's mathematical. Some of you have the gift of interpersonal skills. You just find it pretty easy to be around folks, and you tend to get along, and you can read people, and they just feel comfortable in your presence. But make no mistake, the creator of this universe has put incredible, unique gifts in each and every one of you. And I would suggest to you that the greatest gift that he's given each and every one of the 5 or 6 billion people on this planet is the gift of choice. Ultimately, you get to choose. Many of us have well-intended people in our lives that have said, son, you ought to be a mechanic, or young lady, you ought to be a doctor, or you ought to be a teacher, or you ought to fill in the blank. And with all of the respect I can muster, may I suggest that ultimately that choice ought to be yours? And that choice ought to be, what is it that I believe that I've been created to do? What is it that I'm passionate about? Because as a young lady reminded me yesterday, choose a way to work with your hands for the next 40 or 50 years doing something that you love, and at the end of your life you'll be able to tell people, I never went to work one day in my life. Choose your own path. Folks, whether you know it or not, you're already making that choice, and let me suggest to you that one of the driving forces behind those choices that you're making has to do with how each and every one of you has defined success. If I asked the 250 graduates of 2017 at East Hall High School to define success, I would get 215 different answers. But can I suggest that you ought to craft that definition very carefully? Because how each and every one of you defines success is going to drive the decisions that you make for the rest of your lives. And it ought to be something that's very personal and something that has come from the depths of your heart. I don't know what the perfect definition of success is. I do like Ralph Waldo Emerson's definition of success. And for Emerson, he said this. He said, success is to laugh often and much. It's to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children. It's earning the appreciation of your honest critics, and it's enduring the betrayal of your false friends. It's appreciating beauty. It's seeing the best in others. And it's leaving this world a better place. Leaving it a better place, whether it's with a healthy child, or just a garden patch, or by redeeming some social condition. But Emerson finished his definition of success by saying this. He said, if at the end of every day you've made at least one person breathe easier, you've succeeded. Choose your own path, graduates. So, choice number one, are you going to choose truth or falsehood? Choice number two, are you going to choose your own path or are you going to let somebody else do that for you? And the final choice I'd challenge you to make this evening, because it is your choice, is will you choose love? You know, you're sitting there saying, oh, man, I love a lot of people. I don't mean that kind of love. It's easy to love people that love you first. It's easy to love people that do good things for you. It's easy to love people who go out of their way to show you that they love you. But for the last 16, 17 years, whenever I've dropped my children off at school, the last thing I've told them is they've left the car every day, and they're so sick of it they'll roll their eyes, is I'll say, if you have an opportunity today, love the unlovable. That is the measure of true character. Is setting and purposing in your heart to love individuals that don't even deserve to be loved. East Hall graduates, you are absolutely, positively beautiful. And as you love, as you choose your own path, as you choose truth over falsehood, I care enough about you that I'm also going to tell you this truth. Sometimes if you make those choices and you make them in the noble way, it'll be a lonely journey. But can I suggest that the strength of a nation, or the strength of an organization, or the strength of a family, or the strength of an individual can be found in their willingness to stand up and make those decisions and stand in the gap for the least of these, our brethren, that perhaps cannot stand in the gap for themselves. My hope and my prayer for each and every one of you is that that is the way you will choose to live your lives. Knowing at times that you'll stumble and fall and make some decisions you wish you could do over, let me remind you it's never too late. But be the kind of East Hall Viking graduates that are willing to stand up for those things that are good and pure and praiseworthy and noble and true. Congratulations, class of 2017. One last point of privilege before I confer your diplomas and make them official. Would the entire attendance in this auditorium join me in thanking Pastor Franklin and Free Chapel for making this incredible facility and experience available for us? Thank you all so much. Mr. Chairman, Board of Education, in accordance with the regulations and the policies of the Hall County Board of Education and the state of Georgia, and on behalf of our Hall County Board of Education and myself, I hereby declare that these members of the class of 2017 have met all requirements, and they are therefore eligible to be designated of graduates of the best high school in America, East Hall High School. Congratulations.
guys can be seated. Hello, class of 2017. It's hard to believe that the day that we have been anxiously waiting for is finally here. Every single one of you worked so very hard to get to where you are today, but we could not have gotten to this point by ourselves. We had the help of our teachers, our peers, our friends, and our families. I would like to thank every single teacher sitting here today. You guys do not hear this enough, but you truly impact your students, and you're greatly appreciated. To my peers, I might not have talked to every single one of you, but trust me when I say I will miss all the familiar faces. To my friends, I have created so many wonderful memories with every single one of you. Along with that, all of you have shed some light on my life when times were tough, and for that, I cannot thank y'all enough. To my family, you guys are my rock. Thank you for the constant reminders of everything I am capable of. Mami y papi, gracias por siempre decirme que me ponga las pilas. Es por ustedes que yo estoy aquí hoy. In Stevie Wonder's Don't You Worry About a Thing, he says, everybody needs a change, a chance to check out the new. You're the only one to see the changes you take yourself through. After today, things will be different, but change is not always a bad thing. We need change in order for us to blossom. When you start your new life, don't be afraid of the changes. High school was once new to all of us, and look where we are now. You guys are all capable of so much. Don't let anything stop you. Seniors, look around you. Look to your left, look to your right. This will be the very last time that all 215 of us will be in the same room. We may have gatherings and reunions, but it will never be the same. I again want to congratulate you guys, the class of 2017, on your accomplishments today. And as Maria said earlier, you guys are so young. Congratulations, Vikings, we made it.